Hello and welcome. I'm so glad you are here. Today, we are diving into a topic that sparks a lot of curiosity and questions: Satanism. Whether you are here out of interest, concern, or just a desire to learn, this video is for you. Satanism. It is a word that stirs up a lot of emotions. Some people see it as a rebellious idea, others associate it with something darker. But what do we really know about it? In this video, we are going to dive deep into the history, beliefs, and variations of Satanism. We will unpack what it stands for and why it is something to approach with caution. I strongly recommend sticking with us until the end. You will discover insight that might surprise you and even change how you think about good and evil. The history of Satanism. To understand Satanism, we need to look back at where it all began. The story of Satan originated in religious texts. For example, in the Bible, Isaiah 14:12-15 describes the fall of Lucifer, often interpreted as Satan, who sought to rise above the God and was cast down to the earth. And in the New Testament, passages like 2 Corinthians 11:14 warn that Satan disguises himself as an angel of light, emphasizing his deceptive nature. Similarly, in Islam, Iblis, another name for Satan, refused to bow to Adam in defiance of God's command, as described in Surah 2:34. These foundational texts present Satan as ultimate symbol of rebellion and evil. But Satanism as a structured belief system didn't exist in these early times. During the Middle Ages, fear of satanic worship fueled widespread panic. Accusations of Satanism were often leveled during the witch trials, but most of these were baseless and rooted in superstition. This period of fear caused immense suffering and confusion. Modern Satanism took shape in the 20th century. In 1966, Anton LaVey founded the Church of Satan, making the beginning of organized Satanism. LaVey's philosophy, outlined in the Satanic Bible, rejected the idea of a literal Satan and instead used him as a symbol of self-indulgence, personal power, and defiance of traditional moral norms. Later, in 2013, the Satanic Temple emerged. Unlike the Church of Satan, this group focused on activism, using satanic imagery to challenge societal norms and advocate for secularism. Despite their differences, both movements share a rejection of mainstream religious morality. Variations of Satanism. Satanism isn't a one-size-fits-all belief system. Over time, several types have emerged, each with its own take on what Satanism means. Let's explore some of the main ones. LaVeyan Satanism. This branch is more about philosophy than worship. LaVeyan Satanists don't believe in a literal Satan. Instead, they see Satan as a symbol of human nature, proud, ambitious, and self-serving. Their core beliefs include living for personal pleasure, rejecting guilt, and viewing traditional morality as restrictive. Rituals are often theatrical but symbolic, aimed at reinforcing their philosophy rather than invoking supernatural powers. Theistic Satanism. This form takes Satan as a real deity or entity to be worshipped. Theistic Satanists often see Satan as a liberator or guide who opposes the constraints imposed by God. Rituals in this group are usually spiritual and involve invoking Satan's presence for guidance, power, or protection. This group often emphasizes personal relationships with Satan as part of their faith. Luciferianism. Luciferians view Lucifer as a figure of enlightenment and rebellion, but not necessarily evil. They emphasize intellectual and spiritual growth, self-discovery, and questioning authority. For them, Lucifer represents the quest for knowledge and personal empowerment. Rituals may involve meditative practices or symbolic gestures meant to inspire inner transformation. The Satanic Temple. Unlike other forms, the Satanic Temple is more about activism than belief. Members use satanic imagery to push for secularism and challenge the influence of religion in public policy. Their actions include advocating for equal representation in government and fighting for reproductive rights. They do not believe in a literal Satan, but use his image as a tool for political and social change. Paganistic Satanism. This form blends elements of paganism with satanic themes. It focuses on nature worship and rituals tied to the cycle of the earth. Satan, in this context, may be seen as a symbol of primal energy or natural forces. Spiritual Satanism. Spiritual Satanists often practice meditation, chakra work, and rituals aimed at connecting with spiritual energies they associated with Satan. This branch views Satan as a positive force for self-discovery and empowerment. Anti-cosmic Satanism. Perhaps the darkest variation. Anti-cosmic Satanists believe the universe is inherently flawed and advocate for its destruction. They see Satan as a force outside creation and align themselves with chaos to reject cosmic order. Why we must avoid Satanism? So, why should we steer clear of Satanism? At first glance, it might seem like a path to freedom or power, but the reality is far more troubling. Let's take a closer look at the reasons. Moral corruption. Many forms of Satanism promote the idea of do what you will as the highest law. This philosophy can lead to selfishness and a lack of accountability. Imagine a society where everyone acts purely for their own gain. Trust breaks down and communities crumble. For example, in LaVeyan Satanism, the emphasis on self-indulgence can result in harmful behaviors that prioritize personal desires over the well-being of others. Destructive practices. While not all Satanists engage in harmful rituals, there are documented cases where individuals have used Satanism as a justification for violence. Historical examples, such as the Satanic Panic of the 1980s, though exaggerated, revealed instances of criminals' acts tied to Satanic beliefs. Modern cases like those of Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, shows how some individuals use Satanic symbols to justify horrific crimes. Even non-violent forms of Satanism often encourage a rejection of moral boundaries, which can lead to personal and social harm. Alienation. Satanism's emphasis on rebellion and individualism can isolate followers from their families, communities, and support system. This isolation often leaves people feeling lost and disconnected. Over time, this alienation can lead to mental health struggles, including anxiety, depression, and a sense of purposelessness. Spiritual consequences. Beyond the immediate effects, aligning with satanic idols can have a long-term spiritual consequences. In many religious traditions, rejecting moral guidance and embracing darkness leads to a life devoid of peace and fulfillment. For example, the Bible warns in 1 Peter 5:8 to be alert and sober mind. Your enemy the devil prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. This passage serves as a reminder that paths aligned with the darkness often consume more than they promise to give. Counterexamples of hope and fulfillment. In contrast, choosing paths rooted in love, compassion, and accountability can lead to a more fulfilling life. Stories of individuals who left satanic ideologies behind often highlight how reconnecting with faith and community brought them peace and purpose. These examples show that it is never too late to turn away from darkness and seek a brighter, more meaningful path. Life is challenging enough without adding unnecessary darkness. Choosing paths of light, love, and community can bring true fulfillment and purpose. Horrific acts attributed to Satanists. Now let's talk about some of the dark events tied to Satanism. Throughout history, Satanism has been linked to acts of cruelty, chaos, and destruction. While not every person associated with Satanism commits crime, there have been many alarming cases that show how dangerous these beliefs can become in practice. Let me give you some historical examples. During the medieval period, accusations of satanic rituals were rampant. In some cases, people believed groups were performing dark ceremonies, including harming others in the name of Satan. Though not all of these accusations were true, they reflected the fear these beliefs brought to the society. There are some modern examples too. Take the case of Richard Ramirez, also known as the Night Stalker. In the 1980s, Ramirez terrorized Los Angeles and San Francisco, committing a series of heinous crimes. He claimed allegiance to Satan and left satanic symbols at the scene of his attacks, bringing widespread fear to communities. Global concerns. Even today, there are rumors and evidence of secret gatherings where harmful rituals take place. For example, reports from various parts of the world describe illegal activities linked to satanic groups, including desecration of sacred spaces and occult-inspired crimes. These examples remind us this ideology rooted in darkness often lead to destructive behaviors. By recognizing these patterns, we can stay vigilant and choose to align ourselves with goodness and light. When we compare Satanism and monotheism, the differences are like night and day. Let's break it down. Monotheism is all about unity, love, and hope. It focuses on believing in one God, who provides guidance, purpose, and meaning to life. This belief system emphasizes caring for others, building strong communities, and living a life filled with compassion and forgiveness. For example, in Christianity, Jesus teaches us to love our neighbors and forgive those who hurt us. In Islam, the teachings of Quran encourage generosity and kindness. In Judaism, the Torah emphasizes justice and responsibility toward others. Monotheism also promotes mental peace. It encourages mindfulness through prayer, meditation, and reflection. It offers a support system, bringing people together in times of joy and sorrow, creating bonds that last a lifetime. Faith in one God provides clarity and a moral compass. It inspires people to help others, improve themselves, and find meaning in their lives. For many, it is a source of strength and hope during difficult times. Monotheism also gives people a sense of belonging and purpose. Being part of a faith community means you are never alone, even when life feels overwhelming. Satanism, on the other hand, promotes rebellion and self-centeredness. It often rejects accountability and encourages indulgence in harmful behaviors. Instead of building communities, it can create divisions and lead people to isolation. For example, LaVeyan Satanism teaches people to put their desires above all else, even if it hurts others. Theistic Satanism involves worship of a dark force that thrives on chaos and harm. A major downside of Satanism is that it doesn't offer lasting fulfillment. While it might seem liberating at first, its focusing on self-indulgence and rejecting of moral values can lead to emptiness and regret over time. In the end, monotheism offers a path of light and love, while Satanism leads to darkness and despair. The choice is clear. We have seen the harm that Satanism can cause, but there is a better way, a way that leads to joy, peace, and fulfillment. That way is through monotheism. Monotheism isn't just about believing in one God. It is about finding purpose, meaning, and connection. It teaches us to love others, help those in need, and strive to be the best version of ourselves. Think about the comfort of knowing that there is a higher power watching over you, a God who loves you, forgives you, and wants the best for you. Many people who felt lost in the life found peace through faith. They built new relationships, healed old wounds, and discovered their true purpose. If you are curious about monotheism, start by learning more about it. Reach out to a local faith community, read sacred texts, or talk to someone you trust who practices faith. You might be surprised at the hope and light it brings into your life. My intention in creating this video isn't to upset anyone, including those who follow a satanic path. Instead, I hope to encourage you to seek the truth and explore paths that lead to love, hope, and fulfillment. I would love to hear your thoughts. Please share your views in the comments below. And if you found this video insightful, consider liking it and sharing it with someone who might need it. Together, we can start meaningful conversations and help others on their journey. Thank you for watching.